Today's video is all about crafting. Now let's talk a little bit about crafting real quick, okay? Not only is crafting in Albion Online the hardest grind in the game, now it sometimes can be profitable, even if you're not doing every little thing to get as much silver out of it as possible. I'm going to talk about all of that, okay? Crafting requires a lot of math and spreadsheeting and writing down things in like a little ledger and a whole lot of planning to make sure that you aren't losing money when you craft, okay? It is very hard to compete in the crafting market because usually once a handful of people are kind of running the crafting market, you have to compete with their prices, so if you lower the prices, then no one profits anymore, and there is just a whole cartel full of these people that make sure that they have a stranglehold on the economy, okay? And for the casual player who only can play a few hours a day, maybe even people that only play 8 hours a day, people that haven't been playing this game for years, generally crafting is not really worth it for the casual player. Let me explain it with a real kind of like a real life, anagram of sorts, okay? Let's say you like bread, okay? You really like bread, so you go to the grocery store, which is in this game the market, and you buy the ingredients to make bread, okay? Most likely, if you just want one loaf of bread, it's going to be cheaper just to buy an already made loaf off the shelf. Go grab you a value brand loaf for like 90 cents or something, okay? Whereas, if you went and bought the bag of flour, the yeast, and all the other stuff it takes to make bread, not only if you've never made bread before, you're probably not going to make a better loaf than the sandwich bread you can already buy with all those fancy ingredients, but you won't be able to mass produce it, and it's going to cost you more money than buying someone else's already produced bread. Again, how are you going to compete with that value brand bread on the shelf? People aren't going to buy your bread. It's going to be really hard to even manufacture your bread and so on and so forth. So with that said, I'm going to teach you how to craft, and I'm going to show you all the ins and outs, how you can squeeze every little dime out of your crafting, and how to maximize your profits, okay? And in today's example, we're going to be crafting bows, and I'm going to be showing, we're using full 8.3, so I can show you the actual random chance of having this succeed, because when you get to the very endest of in-game crafting, if you aren't crafting masterpiece weaponry, it's not nearly as profitable as it can be, so it becomes a gamble once you reach that high. Okay, but I'm still going to show you all the ins and outs of it, okay? Here we go. Now, when crafting or when starting out crafting, you're most likely going to be using a player-owned shop. I'm going to push in to open the map of the town. Now, there's a reason I'm crafting bows in Limhurst of all places. If I click this drop-down menu, you can see that there is a crafting bonus for bows. And what this means is that I will receive more resources back when I craft in this specific town, whereas if I craft anywhere else, I will not receive as much resources. You can also check the activities. Right now, there's a crafting bonus on daggers and gathering gear. Sadly not bows, but it's whatever. Now, let me just show you something else too. Because we're in Limhurst, here are the Hunter's Lodges. This is where we're going to craft the bows. I'm going to left click on it. It's going to highlight all of the currently fed and active Hunter's Lodges. Now, what I'm looking for here is right under that word that says public is the usage fee per 100 nutrition, which is 450 silver, okay? So that is the price to use this bench, whereas if I go over here, this guy has it set at 9,999 silver, which is an insane amount to pay for using up 100 nutrition. What is nutrition on these crafting benches? Well, these crafting benches are manned by an NPC, and they get hungry, and when they are very hungry, they refuse to work. So you can see there's a few of these that are grayed out here. Here's one that is grayed out. The food is at 1%. I'm going to show you how to feed a crafting bench. You can sometimes make money off feeding the benches, but usually not. It's usually up to the owner. The owner's responsibility. This one is at 7%, so we can still craft stuff, but once that food reaches 0, it'll basically close up shop. They're too hungry to work anymore for you, okay? So what you want to do is find the cheapest one in town. So this is 2,300, this one's 2,500, 450, that's pretty good. 2,000, nope. 415, 2,000, 9,000, 2,000, 2,000, and 2,000. So generally, here's one for 360. That one is actually the cheapest, right? 450 or 360. So I'm going to show you the nutrition part of the game and why. Well, maybe you're like, you know what? I don't want to pay a fee. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay someone else to craft. I'm just going to create my own Tier 8 Hunter's Lodge on my own personal island. And I'm going to show you right now why that's a stupid idea, why that's an overly costly idea, and why in the longest run that it won't benefit you. For one, if you're crafting from your island, you don't get that 15% bonus we talked about. You have to be in town for it. But also, I'm going to tell you right now that at the very end of in-game, crafting 8.3 weaponry in a town is also the wrong move. The actual proper place to craft would be in a Limhurst Black Zone hideout, because that will give you an even higher bonus, okay? And this is what all the master crafters use. Yes, you could craft it here, however, without that hideout bonus, you're not going to economically compete with the big boys that do this every single day. Don't even bother trying unless you have a guild with a hideout in the Limhurst Zone for crafting bows. But let's say you wanted to, have your own shop, okay? Not only is this insanely expensive, but the cartel, if the cartel sets your price, and let me tell you what that means, okay? This Aleph's guy here, he's got the lowest price in town. Let's say the cartel wasn't cool with him having that lowest price, because that means all these other ones aren't going to be used. Everyone's going to come to this one, right? He's going to have all of everyone's business. What the cartel will do is they'll just craft 10 million novice bows, which will use up the crafting capacity of the bench and the food supply. And the owner of the bench will get no profit. The cartel has an infinite number of resources. They will just come in and empty out your nutrition and crafting capacity, meaning no one can use your bench. And then here's how much money you're going to have to pay to feed your bench, okay? So if we click here, we can see that this food bench likes potato salads. Well, I happen to have 8.3 potato salads. One of these potato salads is worth 168,000 silver. To feed this will give maybe 1% of food storage, okay? So I have a stack of 999 here, and let me tell you right now, on these benches, if they are drained to 0%, and you give a whole 999 stack, it only goes up to 95%, and this entire stack is worth, well, it's worth 168 million, because 168k times 100 is 168 million. Do you have 168 million silver to be feeding these benches multiple times per day because the cartel is draining it? I don't think so. So you're going to have to be one of these little side benches that the cartel deems, unworthy here. So like this person's bench here, this person here, that has it at 9,999. This is their for their own personal use. They're not letting other people generally use it, okay? That's why the fee is so high. If someone stumbles upon it and uses it, they profit. But otherwise, it's just for them so they can craft. But even if you mass craft, you still have to feed these things, which, like I said, do you have 168 million in profit to feed this thing through crafting? I'm going to go ahead and feed this because it's the test realm, and that's going to bump it all the way up. It's going to take 979 of these salads to feed it. So there we go. I just fed the bench. The bench is now it's now usable. It says it's not on the map. It hasn't updated, okay? But you can see here, it has 100% crafting capacity, 100% food supply, so it is ready to go. And if I wanted to craft one of these tier 0.83 bows, it's going to cost me 26,000. That's how much food one of these crafts will use. Okay, but I want to continue on before we actually craft. Now that I've explained to you why you shouldn't own a shop, these shops are non-profitable. They're very unprofitable. If you go to the Albion Online forums and you look at people who post all of their stats, these things are a money sink. These things are for the ultra elite rich that just want to have a shop just because they feel like they have a piece of Albion. It's like, here's a shop little thing for sale. I could buy this and put a tier 8 bench on it. People would use it for whatever reason, maybe not. But in the end, it's going to cost me more to operate and keep this thing running than it will ever make. Okay? And that's just how the game has become. So these things, not so useful anymore. But also, another reason to go to Limhurst, because Limhurst is the bow crafting capital and we have bow benches. If I check bridge watches, yeah, you could craft bows in bridge watch, okay? But we're not going to find one nearly as cheap. 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. If you hear my girlfriend's cat meow, you gotta leave a like on the video. Them's the rules. I didn't make that up. That's just the meme on the channel. So every single Hunter's Lodge here is going to cost over 2,000 silver to craft on. So why would I craft in this town when I can save much, much more going to Limhurst and get a more of a higher return rate anyway, okay? So what is return rate when crafting? So when you craft, you have a percentage of resource return rate. So it's going to cost 32 planks to craft this bow, and out of those 32 planks, I will receive 24.8 of them back. Now, another thing too when crafting is you always want to use focus, which you only get with premium. You get 10,000 a day. So, to craft one of these bows would cost me 4,376 focus. And if I had focus, this return rate would jump up another maybe 30% or something like that. So I would be getting half my resources back. Is half a day's worth of focus worth an extra 8.3 planks? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's all up to you. In this case, it says that these planks are worth 3.65 million, and a single plank is worth 228,000. So I would say that's a pretty good amount for half a day's focus. That sounds about right to me when I do the math and look at my crafting logs. That's actually not too bad. But you could get an even higher return rate by being in a black zone hideout in the Limhurst area. So you would really get like maybe 20 out of those 32 planks back, and how much more money would that be? Well, that would be 4.56 million per craft. So you can see it's absolutely beneficial that you try to get as much of your return rate back as possible. Now let me talk about focus here real quick and why it only cost me 4,376 to actually craft, or it will probably cost you far more to craft the same thing. If I go to the crafting tree on the Destiny board, we can go to bows. There's our bow crafting. You can see that it's at 100, okay? This allows us to craft the tier 8 bows, but you have specialization. So, with level 100 bow crafting specialization, we have a bonus to focus cost efficiency while crafting all bows. We also have specialization bonus cost to focus efficiency while crafting just regular bows. We also get an increase in quality and an increase in quality. Again, this is for all bows and this is for specifically bows. So if I go to the Mist Piercer crafting specialization, which, let me tell you how hard it is to level this up. To max out bow crafting, not that hard. It's pretty expensive, but you can do it in one sitting. To max out Mist Piercing is going to take you a very long time, and it's going to take you a lot of materials. I'm going to tell you right now, if you went from 0 to 100, there's not enough of these Mist Piercer materials. There's not enough immaculately crafted risers in the game, on the market currently, for you to go from 1 to 100. You're going to have to buy all of these out consistently for months to even be able to push this to 100, okay? It is that hard to level. Alright, and then again, Bow of Badon, you know, that's another one too, right? To even craft a Bow of Badon, you're going to need a carved bone, which isn't as rare, and you can roll these with relics, but even if you bought out every relic and you bought out every carved bone currently on the market, you will still not reach level 100 in one sitting. It's going to take you quite some time for you consistently buying out the market to even be able to push this to 100. So having 100 in all of your crafting is something that will take you an insane amount of long time to have, and only then will you have enough specialization to get your focus cost down to a mere 4,376. Now, of course, the lower tier bows that you craft, like if I just craft a regular tier 8 bow, it only costs me 800. This is where the math comes in. You have to sit here and take your focus cost amount and compare it to the sale cost or the sales profit of the bow, and so on and so forth. You have to deal an insane amount of math, not just for tier 8 bows, but tier 7.3, 7.2, 7.1, tier 6, 3, 2, 1, and so on and so forth. And this is going to take you hours of sitting down and plugging these numbers into spreadsheets and checking which town has bows and how many bows sell per day, per week, per month. It is an insanely aggravating amount of math. And yes, you can profit if you find that little sweet spot. I don't know what the sweet spot for bows is. Don't ask me. I'm not going to sit here and do hours of math for you. That's up to you to do. Now, let's get to the actual crafting part, okay? Because we're crafting 8.3 bows, we really, really want them to be masterpiece quality, okay? So, what we can do is we can use a deep water Kraken salad, and that's going to not only let us craft faster, but it's also going to increase our crafting quality for 2 minutes. okay? And what that means is that it has a higher chance to roll a higher quality. Now this Kraken salad is insanely expensive. Just one of these is almost 500,000 silver. This is a tier 6.3 Kraken salad. You don't want to use the regular Kraken salads. You want as much quality as possible when you're using these types of materials. Now, for just crafting like tier 4 bows, you don't even need these Kraken salads. Like the masterpiece on a tier 4, no one really cares. It's not profitable, but you would have to also plug in the costs of everything that you're doing into these calculators to see if you even profit. Finally, before you even begin crafting, you're going to want Fletcher's journals, empty of course, and you want to fill these, okay? So right now, one of these journals on the market is worth 21,000, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and craft just one bow here. I'm just gonna craft one bow, and it should fill the journal, I believe. All right, and this is without eating the Kraken salad. This is just an example, okay? We're just showing you a little example. It's the test realm. It's okay. So we filled 6 of those journals with one craft, okay? Now, remember, we said the cost of one journal was 21,000. So one full journal is worth 144,000. So every journal we fill, we make 120,000 silver, but we actually make more than that, because if we have tier 8 houses with tier 8 Fletchers, we will get back some of these wood planks, which, as we've seen before, one plank is worth 228,000. And if we get a multitude of planks based on what our laborer gives us back after one day, it can be even more profit, okay? So this is why that you want, alongside your crafting, to have the proper laborers with the proper filled journals. And you could also fill tier 8 generalist trophy journals if you want to level up. Well, you can have tier 7 trophy journals if you want to level up your laborers, okay? So with that said, make sure you have the journals before you ever craft. If you are crafting without Fletcher's journals, blacksmith journals, imbuers, or tinkerers, you're doing it wrong and you're losing a lot of money, okay? So now, I'm going to throw this bow out. We're going to craft 106 bows. And now, I don't know why it's only letting me craft 106. I know I have more materials than that. But I think that might empty out the food or crafting capacity of this bench. But we're going to eat our Kraken salad right now. Let me eat the salad. There we go. So for the next 2 minutes, we're going to be crafting as fast as we can. And I don't have focus to craft, but just pretend I do. So 106 bows, let's go. We are now crafting them. Now, you'll notice too that as I craft these bows, some of them are going to start appearing in the inventory. These journals are going to start being filled. It doesn't just fill up the bar and then they all pop in your inventory at once, okay? It's just, I don't know how it works when doing this, but they will start appearing in the inventory, pretty sure. Unless they change things. I haven't crafted in bows in a while. Now, sorry I'm not speeding up the footage, but I do want to show you, even with the Kraken sound, there it is, okay? We actually hit one masterpiece bow out of, that's 1 out of 28. So that's not bad. We also got 5, oh no, wait, we have the 12 regulars, so it's actually worse than that. Okay, but I'm gonna show you the discrepancies here of how many bows we crafted and how many masterpieces and how many excellence we get. These are outstandings. Outstandings are your general ones that you would sell. Your good quality ones, they'll still sell maybe if you really undercut them. You're probably losing money on these and these, let's be real. But you can see I've filled 493 journals. I didn't have enough journals to really make use out of all this, but again, this is just the test realm. This is not the actual live servers. On the live servers, I am not a master bow crafter. I actually spent 1 whole year working on crafting bows, and I barely made a dent. It's just too damn expensive and too much of an investment for me to do. Now, you can see here that I still have plenty of planks left to craft with. However, this bench, the food supply, which we just fed this to 100%, is gone. It's completely gone, and the crafting capacity is nearly gone and won't be back up for several days. Alright, so I'm going to need to go to another crafting bench if I wanted to continue crafting more bows. But let's do some numbers here. Let's see. Alright, this is how many bows we crafted, okay? 39 plus 54, so that would be 50, that'd be 80, 93, plus 11, that would be 104. Out of 106 bows, 2 of them are masterpiece, okay? So let's compare the price, okay? A masterpiece Elder's bow is worth 16.8 million, all right? One of these Elder's bows is worth 4.7 million, so you can see one of these is worth 4 of these. What about these? Well, this one's only worth 3.6. You can see it's a million difference between the two, and then finally your crappy ones is only 3 million, so it goes 3 million, and then 6 million, and then 4, and then 16. So this is why you really want to go for those masterpiece bows. Now, how many planks did it cost to craft 106 bows, okay? So now we open our calculator, type 106 times 32, okay? 3,392 planks, which it's going to be about 3 of these, okay? So that cost me 660 million, but, you know, I did fill tomes, which gets me an 88 million back. It's not a big amount, but it's a good amount, okay? I actually would have filled more tomes if I had them. So these tomes, these journals, I'm sorry, these Fletcher's journals, do help reduce the cost, okay? But 600 minus 88, 88 something, it's not that much. It's an insane amount of money. But let's see. So that would be 660 million. Let's just count our bow value, okay? So right now we have 33, 49. We're going to count this too. That's 80. That's 110, 150. That'd be like, we're going to round that to 200. So 350 million, and then 400. It's like 470 million that we made crafting. We made 470 million crafting, but in the end, it did cost us, some of these, it cost us 660,000 in planks. But what about that return rate, okay? So what is, let's do some more math here. 3392, that's how many planks we used, and we're going to minus, okay, our return rate on those, which I'm going to say would be, I'm just going to do a 50%, okay? Just 50%, because we're going to pretend that we are in a black zone hideout with focus. Okay, 1,696 planks. So we're going to say 1,700 planks just to be on the nose, on the money. It's actually probably a bit more than that, but whatever. Okay, so this is 228 million, and this is 159. So that would be 380 million. So 380 million minus 400 something million means that we made a 100 million profit if we did it correctly, which is not bad. But even if we take, like, say, this out, because this generally doesn't happen. Oh wait, we forgot the price of the Kraken salad. See, there's so much math involved, okay? The price of one Kraken salad, how much did that cost? What about the crafting fees, okay? To craft 106 of those bows at that bench at 360, that's insanely cheap, okay? Now, we're not going to factor in the cost of feeding the damn thing, because normally you're not going to be feeding the benches. But let's go to a bench right there that's still got food in it, that's a similar price, and see how much it costs us to craft. Because right now we're profiting about 80 million, but if it costs 80 million for the bench fee, then we actually lost money. See, all of this stuff you have to consider when crafting. It's a hell of a lot of a work. Oh, I'm gonna have to go around, aren't I? Yeah, I went the wrong way, and being on a mammoth, super slow, and whatever. Just bear with me, guys. We're gonna get there. Now, this is why I tell people not to craft. Imagine that you spent years and billions of silver buying out the materials to maximize your bow crafting, okay? Realistically, you're not going to become a grand super ultra master maxed out bow crafter by just buying out the market and crafting. You're generally going to either farm the materials yourself and very slowly power it up over time, but it's an insane amount of grind, okay? So for this bench, which the food is only at 61, we won't even be able to craft the same amount of bows, but 64. So we did 106, that would be 53. Let's go to 53. The bench fee is 1.7 million, so we essentially paid like 3 million. Well, yeah, it's like 3.5. We'll say 3.5 million in fees. So the fees weren't that bad. So in the end, we maybe made like 77 or 78 million, but it did take almost $500 million to make that 77 billion. Is that worth it to you? If so, become a crafter today, because let me tell you, once you've actually reached this level of crafting, Albion Online becomes a completely different game for you. You're living the high life. Let me tell you all about it, okay? So what I do on my crafter is I log in, and I push, I go to, crafting benches, and I push craft, and in 20 minutes, I make about 3 million silver. So that means I make enough to afford premium an hour. I make about 9 million silver an hour, okay? That's pretty good. There are people that can make more than that doing corrupted dungeons, but that's a whole lot of work and effort and attention, whereas I'm just logging in, I push a button, I go watch anime, and then when it's done, I put my stuff up for sale and log out. It's nice and comfy, but it cost hundreds of millions of silver to get there. It took years to get there, but once you get there, you don't have to fiddle around with farmland anymore. You don't have to fiddle around with all the small things to make money, like doing your little your like arena dailies or your adventures challenge dailies or any of this stuff. You don't have to care about it anymore. You don't have to count your pennies. You just log in, you push craft, and then you log out, and then you just have hundreds of millions of silver every month. It's really nice to have. It's pretty cool. And that's all I've really got about crafting, okay? You're going to have to do the math yourself. I'm not going to do the math for you. You're going to have to figure out what niche that you want to craft in, how much it's going to cost you, how long it's going to take you to level it up, and let's say I'm a bow crafter one day. Let's say the price of bows drops dramatically. Let's say the price of planks rise dramatically. Let's say all the crafting benches go on strike and raise their fees to 6,000. This has happened many, many times in the past. Let's say the Fletcher's market dries up, and while I can use Fletcher's to make planks, well, I need those planks to continue to make bows to get more planks to feed the Fletchers and so on. Let's say the market collapses. It's happened many, many times in Albion. Well, guess what's no longer profitable? The bow crafting business. It's no longer profitable, and all of that effort and all of that stuff has went to waste. So the only thing I can tell you on how to get around that is to diversify. And let me tell you. So I have one character, like I have 20 characters, okay? I have one character that is a master in potion crafting. I have a character that's a chef that is maxed out in chefs. I have like at least 9 characters that specialize in growing different types of plants. That's for farmland. That's not really crafting. Okay, I have characters that are specialized in growing certain crops. I don't have any kind of craftiness in animal breeding, but people tell me that once you max out animal breeding, you can just duplicate mammoths essentially for infinite money too. That could be the best money maker in the game. I don't know. I've never done it. I can't vouch for it. Okay, I've got gathering armor set crafters. They're not maxed out though. I've got offhand and spell weapon crafters. Those tend to sell pretty good. Even though they're not maxed out, they're still somewhat profitable, so it's something for me to log in and do. They're not always profitable, but when they're not, I just craft in another niche. So I would say diversify your crafting if you want to be a crafter in this game. It's never really too late. Just know that there are very fat, wealthy whales in this game who have maxed out their crafting and who basically run and control the market. And once you dip into it, those prices are going to just vary wildly. They might even see, like, okay, whenever you go to the market, I'm going to share a little tip with you. This is a third-party program you're not supposed to use that people can use. Let me show you. When you click on the market, you see stuff for sale. Who is selling this magical tome for 13 silver? Okay. I don't know. The game will not tell me. But there are people that have programs that can packet sniff who is selling what. So what they do is they will click buy. They're not going to buy it, and they're going to use their hack program to packet sniff the game, and the game will tell them, well, Joe Bob 87 is the seller of this magical tome, okay? And then they're going to go find Joe Bob, and they're going to do all sorts of bad things to Joe Bob, and they're going to see what else he's selling and buying and crafting, and they're going to just try to ruin the market for him. That is what the cartel does. They are very dangerous people, both in and out of game. Don't mess with them. Don't even talk about it. Just like it's literally a virtual mafia, okay? I mean, like, memes aside, just they do this kind of stuff. You're not gonna win. You're just one dude. There are hundreds of dudes all in an organized Discord. Just don't even bother. They have infinite, endless pockets and you don't. It's not worth the hassle of messing with them, okay? So that's how they find out what you're selling, and that's how they ruin the economy, or just buy out everything so you can no longer craft your favorite thing until you quit, or you AFK for a month and lose all that focus profit, and so on and so forth. So crafting, the most dangerous game, possibly the hardest grind in Albion, absolutely the most profitable thing in Albion, sure is. Alright, with that said, guys, I'm Soul Benji. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Sorry to make it such a long video, but with that said, hey, I've given you my warning for crafting. It can be profitable. It's nice once you finally got it done, but only if you have it done in multiple, niches, okay? Other than that, just play the game. You don't get combat fame for crafting, however, you can buy tomes, so it's kind of like a cheesy way to level up if you wanted to. With that said, that's all I've got. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment. I read every comment, so feel free to ask any questions you have about crafting. I'm not going to do the math for you. Don't ask me what's the most profitable thing to craft, and so on and so forth like that. And don't ask me what I personally craft. I'm not going to tell you what I craft, because if I do, then everyone does it, and then guess who loses money? I do. Even though I don't really need the money anymore. Don't copy me. You have to do the math yourself and carve out your own little niche that someone hasn't already done in the game, or most likely someone has already done, and maybe they're taking a break or they quit or something. Every time I take a break for a few months, someone enters my niche, and, well, they don't have the production means that I do, or the alts that I do, so I can usually bully them out of the space. Like I said, kind of like what the cartel does, okay? But I don't mess with the cartel stuff. I do my own little thing that doesn't involve them. Anyway, guys, make sure that you're subscribed, because I make videos every single day on this channel. Also, make sure that, yeah, you don't miss tomorrow's video. It could be a good one, it could be a stinker, who knows. If you want to financially support me, you can click the thanks button down below. That is a one-time monetary donation. It will be shown off in a comment on this video how much you donated. It will be highlighted. It's a big flex. Everyone can see it, and it's just a way to show off your in real life wealth, if you would. And if you want to support me monthly, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button. That will give you access to private, more personal videos, which it really helps me out. I have a cool video on there that shows how to become a YouTuber, how to do tags, titles, search engine optimization, how to edit videos, how to record videos, how I'm able to make Albion videos every single day, or just videos on any game. Alright, it's absolutely worth the $5. It's a 40-minute long video. It's super snappy. Alright, and there is a pinned comment on every one of my videos that has a playlist to these members-only videos. So you can click that playlist, even as a non-member. Check out the thumbnails and the descriptions and the titles of those private videos. You can't watch them without being a member, but if there's something that interests you on there, you can become a channel member. It's $5 a month, and then you can watch the videos. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out.